Well, do you want to know all about some walkable neighborhoods in Virginia Beach? Some of the best ones, my favorites. Now make sure and watch to the end of the video because the last neighborhood I talk about is one that I grew up near and is one of my favorites in the city. Well, that's what we're talking about today, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Sansalone and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And if it's your first time to the channel, so glad. Hit that subscribe button, the bell notification, and the like button. That will tell YouTube that I'm doing a great job and that you support my channel. And if so, thank you for that. And I help people from everywhere, all over, everywhere, move into the area. So if you have any questions about moving into the area, feel free to let me know at any time. My contact information is in the description below and I will be able to help you. Now today we're talking about some of my favorite walkable neighborhoods in Virginia Beach. And also I want to go through several neighborhoods in different price ranges. And so if you have different interests and different needs, your needs will be hopefully filled by at least one of the neighborhoods in this video. The thing about Virginia Beach is because the city is a lot older in a lot of places, the neighborhoods didn't necessarily get developed to facilitate lots of walking. So it's very, very difficult to find lots of neighborhoods that people can walk to and from lots of places nearby and not need a car. But are there any options that don't need a car? Well, maybe. Let me talk first about some criteria that I like to use to determine if a neighborhood is walkable or not. So what I'm looking for in these neighborhoods are there sidewalks in the neighborhoods? There are a lot of neighborhoods in Virginia Beach that don't have sidewalks. And also are there parks nearby or activities nearby that you can also easily walk to? And shopping. Are there grocery stores? Are there restaurants? Are there things to do in and around the area that you can walk to pretty easily? And also busy streets. How many busy streets do you have to walk from the house to get to any of the other places that you want to go to by foot? These things are the things I try and most factor into when I'm looking at a neighborhood that you can walk from to different places. So the number one neighborhood that I've got now is Red Mill. You may have heard about Red Mill before. It's in the southeastern section of Virginia Beach and it's surrounded by lots and lots of other houses. But it's also near a couple larger shopping centers, Strawbridge and Red Mill Shopping Center as well. Each of those have lots like grocery stores, several grocery stores, and restaurants. So if you look in the map, you'll see it's centered like in this Ocean Lakes kind of area. But when you look at the intersections near it, you got Emo Parkway and Sandbridge Road and Princess Anne Road over on the south side there. So you're close to two busier roads. But the fact of the matter is, in the neighborhood, you've got your sidewalks and they're quiet streets, but they're quick access to these busy roads. And you're close also to Red Mill Commons. And it doesn't take that long though to walk from the neighborhood itself over to Red Mill Commons or over to Strawbridge. You also have a park inside the neighborhood you can walk to as well. And you don't have too many busy roads you have to deal with, but those busy roads do have ability to cross relatively easily, so you're not going to be finding yourself in harm's way very much. So this is one of the reasons why I would consider Red Mill a very walkable neighborhood. Now, number two is Wolfsnare. Now, Red Mill starts in like the mid 300s right now and goes up to like the fours, mid fours. There are some neighborhoods in the Red Mill section that aren't actually called Red Mill, but they're close enough to where they kind of serve the same purpose per se. So it's in that 350 to 475-ish price range. Now number two is actually several neighborhoods together, but I would call it just north of the HILLTOP area in Great Neck. There's areas like called Wolfsnare, Linkhorn Park, there's a South Hall Quarter. There are several other neighborhoods in here that are just north of the First Colonial Road and Laskin Road intersection. That's where lots of action's happening. So there's got Whole Foods, you got Trader Joe's, you've got Target, Walmart, lots of shopping centers. Basically everything you're gonna need is gonna be on Laskin Road or on First Colonial Road. And these neighborhoods that I'm talking about are just north of Laskin Road and just off of First Colonial. These are very quiet neighborhoods for the most part, and so these don't necessarily have sidewalks, but when you get to the main road, like for instance First Colonial, you've got sidewalks. So the access to the main roads won't have the sidewalks, but you'll still have the protection once you get to the main roads. very, very helpful. And these houses could go anywhere from like the low 300,000s for those townhouses like in South Hall Quarter up to over $1 million on Lincoln Estates around the edge there. So it really depends on where you are. They range all across the board with prices. So you can find kind of what you're looking for in different price ranges if you want to be in this section. Now I will say that the drawback of this area is the jet noise. So if you're against the jet noise that really bothers you, this might not be the neighborhood for you. Now number 3 is one of my favorites in the entire city of Virginia Beach. It's a real modest, understated neighborhood, but it's real nice, called Salem Woods. Now Salem Woods is off a road called Lynnhaven Parkway, which is a long road, goes a long way all the way up to the north part of Virginia Beach. Now while it's a long road, it's a busy road. That road connects to some pretty big shopping centers. One specifically called Salem Crossing that has a Walmart, Chick-fil-A, Home Depot across the street, lots of other like smaller shops and restaurants. You have access from Salem Woods up to this shopping center by sidewalks. You're going to cross a couple busy intersections, but it is within reasonable distance depending on what your comfort level is for walking. Now there's also a cool park called Salem Woods Park that is also, you can walk straight from the neighborhood. It's a little cut through road that connects to this big park. Now the prices in here start in the low to mid 300s, like $330, $340, $350. But most of them are in that $400,000 price range, usually around 4 bedrooms, 2,500 square feet or so. So for the price, you do get a lot. But some people don't like the fact that it's away from lots of interstates and you're like really in the center of Virginia Beach. Another positive about this area is that it's also very close access to Salem High School, which is literally across the street off of Lynnhaven Parkway. Now the next one is similar to Wolfsnare in the Lincoln Estates area. Just go north and you hit Allenton. I love this neighborhood. I did a video about this neighborhood a while back. I'll throw it up here, but it's wonderful. Really well developed. Lots of woods, lots of tree covered lots, brick ranch style, some 2-story, and lots of houses on the water. Really pristine houses and prime property in the section. It's a real big corner. I've talked about the history about Allenton. It goes back hundreds of years. So you're gonna have some really nice houses in here, and the price ranges can start like closer to $500,000-600,000, going up to $7 to $1 million and up if you're on the water. So this is more of the higher price range, and especially if you're going up in the top part of Great Neck, this is where it starts getting even a little bit more pricey. But if you look on the map, you'll see Mill Dam Road. Now Mill Dam Road's great because it connects the First Colonial Road and North Great Neck Road together. So you've got like an archway there that connects you to both streets. Now there are intersections that are pretty busy, like off Mill Dam Road and off of First Colonial and North Great Neck, but there are sidewalks there that allow you to get to those different streets and off to like Hilltop down south or North Great Neck up north relatively easily. It's busy, but if you want to live in an area like Allenton that has more seclusion and you want to also be close to lots of other areas, lots of shopping, and you can possibly walk to these areas, I would suggest looking into this area. Now, that being said, the area in Allenton, there are 2 things. One is there are no sidewalks. It's a very older neighborhood. Like they didn't have that developed neighborhood feel. You've got a lot of older houses built in big, nice pieces of property, that's the charm of Allenton. But at the same time, you've got really deep, long, winding streets. So the walk from the neighborhood itself to the main road like Mill Dam might take several extra minutes than you might want. So that's the one drawback I would say about walking from this neighborhood, is because it might take a little bit longer. But you've got several shopping centers nearby. You also are closer to First Colonial High School, which is right nearby, and Cape Henry Collegiate, which is one of the most in-demand private schools in the city too. Next, we'll shift our attention further north and west near the beach, Chicks Beach, to a neighborhood called Thoroughgood. Thoroughgood is another one of my favorites because it's got really mature streets, real nice trees, real nice houses, brick ranch style, a lot of them built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But you're close to a couple really cool things. First of all, you're close to Bayville Farms Park, which is right around the corner from Thoroughgood. It's a huge park, basketball courts, tennis courts, large parks, places to have picnics, volleyball, and also disc golf. Now, you can walk from Thoroughgood to Bayville Farms Park. There is a busy road called First Court Road that runs between Thoroughgood and Bayville Farms Park, but there's a little cut through that connects you right from Thoroughgood straight across First Court Road to Bayville Farms Park. You're also really close to a Kroger, which is one of my favorite grocery stores, up on Shore Drive around the corner there. And even though you're close to a couple of busy roads, they make it so that you have crosswalks to get you back and forth from each section. And you're of course close to Chicks Beach, so if you wanted to get a little more adventurous, you can venture across Shore Drive from Thoroughgood, go up north all the way through to Chicks Beach to the beach. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods that is in that $400,000 to $500,000 price range that's that close to a beach. Now the next one is a neighborhood that's very similar in style but a different part of town called Thalia. Thalia is a close one to Town Center. I've done a video about Town Center before, I'll throw it up here, but this is also really well developed, lots of nice mature trees, great neighborhood, lots of brick houses, and it's also pretty quick access to the road, Virginia Beach Boulevard, which is a very busy road. So you're gonna have a little bit of a long walk coming from the neighborhood to Virginia Beach Boulevard, but once you get to the boulevard, lots of lanes, but lots of sidewalk that you can go all the way down to Town Center, downtown Virginia Beach. Pembroke Mall's there. Got lots of stores like J. Crew. You've got shoe stores. You've got Chipotle. You've got lots of restaurants. Cavo, one of my favorite new restaurants that popped up, a chain that popped up in downtown, as opposed to Thalia. But I just love Thalia for the price. You're in that mid threes to like upper fours, lower fives. And there are some other neighborhoods that are nearby as well that are closer to Town Center that you can even get something as low as like $250. The houses in Thalia are going to be closer to like the 3 or 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, 1,800 to 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. Now the next, let's go back to the east side of Virginia Beach and we're going into Ocean Lakes. Now Ocean Lakes is pretty close to Red Mill. We'll show it right on the screen here. You'll see there's lots and lots of streets in this Ocean Lakes area. Well, this is one of the best, I'd say, for the price, planned subdivisions in this whole side of the city. There's lots of houses here and lots of sidewalks. You'll see the neighborhoods themselves go like in the cul-de-sacs a lot, but then when you come off the smaller streets in the neighborhoods, you got lots of connecting roads in and around that neighborhood with lots of sidewalks. So the drawback to this is that because there are so many roads, it takes a while to get out of the neighborhood sometimes to get to the main roads, like for instance General Booth Boulevard, which is where Strawbridge Shopping Center is, I mentioned earlier. That's one great shopping center that you're pretty close access to, as well as Red Mill I brought up before too. So if one of the main reasons you're coming here is because of school districts, then you're gonna be really close to Ocean Lakes High School, which is one of the highest ranked high schools in the entire state. Another positive about Ocean Lakes is there are lots of parks. There's smaller parks. They're also close to Red Wing Park, which is just north, which is one of my favorite parks in Virginia Beach, a huge one. And the good news is too, you're just far enough away from the jet noise to where you're not gonna have much of a problem at all. Another good thing about Red Mill as well is that you're close to the Princess Anne Rec Center. For just over $100, you can get a membership as a Virginia Beach resident to these rec centers. So being able to get to walking distance to one of the rec centers is really, really cool. So the drawbacks here, you are close to some busy roads, General Booth Boulevard specifically. But again, one of the benefits to this is that you're relatively close to lots of shops. So if you're okay with walking a couple busy roads that have sidewalks, this would be a great place to consider. Now in Ocean Lakes, the houses can be as low as like $325 sometimes. And sometimes you even have some townhouses in here that can be less than that, but they can go up from there. There are some neighborhoods in this area that really can go up to like $400, $450, depends on the size house. Now I saved the best for last. One of my favorite neighborhoods in all of the city is Lake James. Lake James is kind of in the center west section of Virginia Beach. It's right off of Indian River Road, which is one of the busiest streets in the entire city. Lake James is built in a circle, so you've got one big ring around this lake, Lake James, and so there are houses built on this ring, on the lake, and some off the lake. Well, this ring connects two separate roads off of the ring into other parts of the city. So you've got access to Kempsville Road, which is one busy road on one side. You've got access to Indian River Road, which is another busy road on the other side. Both of those roads have lots of stuff on them. Grocery stores and restaurants for the most part. There's lots of great stuff. One of my favorite Thai restaurants is very close to Lake James called Gen Thai, which is right off of Indian River Road. Lots of other good ones in there too in the same section called Puccinella, a good Italian place. And there's a brewery right off of Kempsville Road you could probably also walk to from there too called Back Bay Brewing that was created in an old farmhouse house. And another thing about Lake James is it has its own private park called Lake James Private Island Park. It's literally in the cul-de-sac of this circle I was telling you about. There is a place you can go running. You can even do workouts in this park too. You can sit and enjoy the lake, basketball court. It's one of the most pristine and in-demand neighborhoods on a lake in all of Virginia Beach. And so if a house goes on the market on the lake, it goes like that. And the price ranges in here are anywhere like off the lake. You can get one in like the mid $300,000 price range. But on the lake, you're talking upper 400s, lower $500,000. And these houses, that could be anywhere from like 3 or 4 bedrooms up to 5 bedrooms usually, like the 1,800 to 2,800 square foot range. If you're interested in specific types of neighborhoods, or you want to move to this area for specific reasons, I've done a lot of videos about moving to Virginia Beach. I've done pros and cons videos about living in each city in this area, so you can click the playlist here to learn more about those cities. And if you want to learn more about specifically Virginia Beach, check this video out here. And of course, subscribe to my channel to learn more about Virginia Beach and all the cities in this area, Norfolk, Chesapeake, all of them. And I will see you on the next video.